Hi, how's it going? A lot of people think of history as just a bunch of stuff that happened, but just listing events is not what historians do. In your history class, you're going to want to write essays centered around actual historical argument. This video will explain how to craft strong historical arguments and why this form of argumentation is central to the study of the past. In other words, how to write a thesis. Historians don't just recount the past, they seek to explain it. To do this, historians ask questions about the topic. These queries aim to deepen and expand our understanding of the subject rather than just inform us about it. Historical questions often address issues such as cause and effect, motives, or meaning. They're specific in terms of time, place, and subject, but still open-ended, in that they don't really have just a yes or a no answer. Above all else, they are argumentative, meaning that they can be legitimately answered in multiple ways. Compare the following set of questions. For example, one, um, who were the key members of the American Whig Party and when did it dissolve? Example two, why did the American Whig Party dissolve? A thorough answer to the first question, even if well organized and well written, is likely not going to amount to much more than a list of facts, right? Let's be honest, a list of facts, it's boring. It's devoid of critical thinking. But a good answer to the second question, on the other hand, will necessarily tackle issues such as causation, increased hat sales. Uh, Answering the second question will be more difficult, but it will showcase the author's analytical skills, leading to more interesting historical debates and enrich our understanding of the past. Here are a few more examples of solid, open-ended questions. How was Britain able to maintain control over its global empire throughout the 19th century? What were the major factors leading to the French Revolution? Why did Britney Spears become an enduring cultural icon in the early 21st century? All of these questions are open-ended and can be argued in multiple ways. Now that you have a question, it's time to answer it. Just like a lawyer constructing a case for a court, historians must present to their readers coherent, compelling arguments based on the best available evidence and the sharpest possible reasoning. The thesis statement outlines what the author wants to prove. It's the first step to persuading readers that you have a good answer to the question at hand. An observation is not a thesis statement. To identify whether or not a sentence is merely an observation, you should ask yourself whether or not a reasonable person could disagree with the statement. Here's some examples of observations. The British were the major naval power in the 19th century. Historians disagree about the causes of the French Revolution. Britney Spears became a pop singer in the 1990s. All of these are just observations about the world rather than arguments that you could actually have a disagreement with. Other thesis statements do assert a claim, but they fail to address their claims' validity. This leaves readers to wonder how and why. Your job as a writer is to clearly and directly answer these questions in your thesis statement. The following are examples of weak thesis statements. One, a dominant navy allowed the British to effectively control foreign territories. How? Why? The origins of the French Revolution cannot be reduced to a single cause. Okay, like, what are they? Britney Spears' cultural influence has long been overlooked by historians. Why? Can you tell me? To strengthen your thesis, make sure that it not only states your claim, but also provides a persuasive explanation for that claim. In other words, the writer needs to answer the how and why questions here, not the reader. Let's give some examples of strong thesis statements. The British Empire's ability to disrupt trade, move troops, and distribute resources with its navy allowed them to control foreign territories. It answers how and why they're doing that, not just that they had a navy. Heightened political awareness, fueled by decades-long inequalities in the French political system, transformed a mundane food shortage riot into the French Revolution. Again, this is kind of giving me the actual linkage between what happened and why it happened. Due to their privileging of high culture over pop culture, historians have overlooked the cultural significance of Britney Spears in the late 1990s and early 2000s, missing a crucial voice in the development of middle-class white femininity. Right? Again, how and why are answered here. Compare these to our earlier thesis statements, which didn't answer those questions. Of course, your thesis statement does not prove your whole argument. Your evidence and analysis combined with your writing's eloquence will help persuade readers. But a strong thesis statement will make for a more compelling essay and demonstrate that history is more than just one thing after another. This has been a writing guide from the History Lab at University of Wisconsin-Madison. These guides exist thanks to the funding of the History Department. They are written by our staff and read by me, John Tobin. For more guides or to book an appointment, please see our website. Thank you.